Okay, and welcome again to another meeting where I'm meeting Sarah Barber, one of our UNISON members. Hi there, Sarah.
Oh, hi Sam, nice to speak to you today.
Okay, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in work and what you're doing as a counsellor?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Sarah Barber. I'm a Ipswich Labour counsellor, um, and I'm also a nurse at Ipswich Hospital. I've been a nurse for all coming up for 20 years now, and I've been a borough counsellor for 5 years. I'm up for re-election this year. So at the moment, I work in the dermatology department in Ipswich Hospital, which means I care for a lot of patients with skin cancer, which is quite challenging. It's a cancer that's on the rise. If you catch it early enough, it's quite curable, but unfortunately, it's not one of those things that always happens. And as the borough councillor, I represent Priory Heath Ward, and I'm also the portfolio holder for the town centre. So I've got quite a lot of differing
Okay,
responsibilities through the day, quite a lot of
and
juggling.
do you think that public sector work and your council responsibilities, that they go sort of hand in hand? Did it make you a good counsellor having that public sector experience?
Yeah, definitely. So as a nurse, you spend a lot of time, and as an NHS worker, you spend a lot of time listening to people, you know, figuring out what their priorities are, how they feel about things, because how they feel about things isn't always how you think that they're going to feel about it. You need to be quite empathetic. And then as a counsellor, again, it's about listening to what people want from their public services, about
Mm.
shaping local services so that they're actually responsive to what residents need and what. And again, that's not always what you think that they're going to want, but the two really go together, that kind of like listening role. And also think as a nurse, quite often you're there on days where people really need somebody that listens and cares and then kind of puts their point of view across for them.
Exactly.
And as a counsellor, you get to do that as well, because bureaucracy and the public sector, it can be a bewildering place, especially when you're in trouble and you really need somebody there to take your side. And I think both of those roles kind of really link into each other. And being a nurse has really helped me being a counsellor in that respect. And it
Okay.
also helps me to see what the need is. You can see the
Mm.
injustices really clearly in health. The fact that the richest people live longest, it is something that we need to get. That we need to really improve the health of our nation, and you can see how being a counsellor really feeds into that. So one thing I'm really passionate about is council housing, because if people have a stable, warm home, that has such an impact on their health. And
Mm.
I can see that as a nurse, and then I can see that as a counsellor, and as a counsellor, that's something I can really promote. So both, they really interlink.
Okay, that's great. And obviously, we're hopefully coming out of pandemic now. But how have you found your work, and obviously as a nurse and also as a counsellor in pandemic? And how do you think the government have dealt with it?
My work, my work as a nurse, I've been redeployed, which is something I was proud to do, because it's a national crisis, and I'm proud to do my part to help with that. Um, I think the vaccination program that the NHS is rolling out has gone really well so far. But I also feel that there's people with coexisting health conditions that have been thrown under the bus. That our death rate in this country is really high, and it doesn't kind of sit the same way as other rich industrialized countries do. And I think that more could have been done to prevent that.
Okay.
And it's not just hindsight. We've had pandemics before throughout history. I mean, the Spanish flu is something, I know it's 100 years ago, but and just what other countries have done. If you look at New Zealand, it's an island nation. Okay, it's a bit different from us, but their approach has been very different. Of that, they weren't
Mm.
going to leave anybody behind, and I feel that people have been left behind.
Okay. Okay, and then just finally, obviously Unison represent lots of public service workers, and there's lots of elections going on in May. Obviously, yours in Ipswich in is it Priory Ward. So why should Unison members go out and vote in May?
it's your chance to have your say about how services are shaped. And when people are a bit reluctant, when they say to me on the doorstep, say, well, why should I vote? Well, it is your money we're spending. It's your services. So if you're not happy about something, if you look at it and you think, well, why does that happen and not this? This is your chance to actually have an impact and to start to shape your environment and where you live. Politics affects every part of our life. As soon as you step out, you don't even have to step out of your front door, and politics is already in your home, even if you don't think that it is. But it's the schools, it's the bin collection, it's your parks, it's all sorts of things that you use every single day. And I think it's so important that you use your vote to kind of get the services that you need for you and your family. And that's why I'd urge people to vote for Labour, because I think we provide the fairest services, and often, we're really cost effective as well. If we're still a Labour council in charge after 10 years of austerity, we are doing really well to balance the books and to get those services delivered. And that's what I'm really proud that we're doing in Ipswich. And so I hope people come out to vote Labour in Ipswich, and that we carry on promoting things that are really positive and make a really big impact on people's lives. Not just building council houses, which is a major thing, but making sure things like the theatre is still provided, which draws people back into the town centre and helps the local economy. So please vote, and please vote Labour.
Thanks very much for your time today, Sarah. That's great.
Thank you.